All right, we'll let Coach start off and I'll make a statement and open up for questions.
Charlotte week, going on the road and facing a motivated Charlotte team. Had a great game against Rice, scoring 56 points at their place. That's not easy to do. You know, it's always hard when you lose your head coach, and they bounce back really, really strong. So we got to come with our A game. We got to have our jaw set. We got to bounce back. Expecting a really, really good game against a motivated football team. And so this will be a long, hard week for us to try to get right and get our jaw set, but looking forward to going on the road and facing a good Charlotte team. With that said, questions?
After Saturday's game, you said you needed to get back to playing offense the way that you want to play it. Is that just changing play calls? Is that changing play callers, or how do you do that?
After looking at the film, and being able to see everything that happened in the game, 466 yards of offense, really, it just came down to we had some costly penalties. We had a missed opportunity on a touchdown pass to Malachi in the end zone. We had some holding penalties out on the perimeter on a reverse that I think is going to be a huge play. And, just kind of shot ourselves in the foot there. And, so there's always things that you take away from each game that you go, hey, we need to adjust this or that. But if we can, and it's been, you've heard me say it before, when we cross the 50, we've had those issues. If we can get those cleaned up, then I feel good about it. We made a couple nice explosive throws down the field in this game. But every game takes on a new shape, a new dynamic. So we're still analyzing Charlotte right now and trying to get a feel for what we think's there. But we got to get our best 11 out there playing at a high level. At times we are, and the ball moved last week, but we stall out, and so we got to find a way not to stall out. So that'll kind of be the goal offensively. Defensively, the first 3 drives against North Texas, obviously, were not good at all. We give up 17 points. After that, we got basically 6 drives in a row that we hold them. I don't count the muff punt at the 10. We only gave up a field goal. So that's pretty impressive defensively. We just couldn't hold on at the end. Kind of the human nature piece came in where we weren't scoring offensively. And when you play a good North Texas team that's really good on offense, they're eventually going to find a way to score. And in between, we hold them for 2 quarters defensively. In between that time, we needed to offensively go do some things, and we just didn't. I think the other piece, too, we had a 19-play drive. I don't like 19-play drives. We got to find how do we get down there quicker and score faster. But then we missed the field goal, too. So, that kind of takes air out of you a little bit. So we got to get all those things corrected. And again, Charlotte's a highly motivated team. I'm watching them, and they have nothing to lose. You look at them, they got onside kicks going. They got fake punts going. They're running reverses on kick return. I expect to see all that again this week. I don't think there's any secret to that. Why wouldn't you? So we got to be on our best game, We got to know what we're walking into when we play them. But really it comes back to just us, us on all 3 phases, playing at a level that we know how to play at. And if we play good, clean football, then, I feel good about our chances going there. But this won't be an easy game by any means. It'll be a back and forth down the stretch type of game. And I think our guys know that. And we just got to weather the storm, and then we got to settle in. And teams that have done well have been able to get up on them, where they having to catch up. So we haven't done that yet this year. We need to go do that. And so we'll see what the dynamic of this game looks like. But I'm expecting a 4-quarter game and a really, really hard-fought game, and hopefully we come away with a W.
Coach, when it comes down to this past weekend, when we got Charlotte, they got a big win against Rice. How much does that change, your mentality, maybe necessarily not necessarily mentality, but watching them win so big against Rice? How much does that change?
I think what it does, it proves the validity of what usually happens when you lose your head coach. It usually goes one of 2 ways. Either men rally and you see what you saw against Rice against them, which was really impressive. I mean, you just don't go to Rice, who's a quality football team, and go put up 56, So says a lot about the men they are and about who the coaches that are leading them currently. That's one way, or they go the other way, which is, they just fold, and they didn't do that. So I think they've rebounded. I think they got a new sense of confidence. Which is fine. That's the way it should be. That's why we play the game. We play the game to win. And so, I said in the media, I'm looking forward to watching our football team play and how we bounce back and what do we do and how do we respond. And, that no matter what happens, I want to see our football team respond the right way coming off a loss. So we'll find out when we face Charlotte. But, hats off to them, because that's always hard to go, lose your coach and then have to try to play the rest of your season. And I think they'll be a highly motivated team coming off a big win.
Besides the mentality and stuff of losing the head coach, did you notice anything different, on the field with what they did, this past weekend compared to the first 7 weeks or so of the season?
I think they had momentum early. I think they let it all hang out. They got a turnover early against Rice that gave them good field position. They did the fake punts. They did the onside kicks. They did the reverses on the kick returns. All those things help. But at the end of the day, they played good football. They played aggressive football. And why not? What do you have to lose? So, and I just feel like, and I thought the quarterback did a really good job. I've always respected him. He's a guy that's such a great competitor, and they have a lot of different personnels that they utilize, and so I expect a challenge for our defense for sure, just like going against North Texas. And I think Charlotte's found that formula that's working for them, and so. Again, though, it goes back to us doing what we need to do and handling our business, and if we do that, I think we'll be okay.
Kind of sticking with Charlotte, I know you just talked about Reynolds a little bit. What do you take away from some of these games in the past that you played in? I think he's been there for like 5 years now, or something like that, quite a while.
Yeah.
What do you take away from those, heading into this one to try to help you guys out?
Well, you're familiar with him, and he's a savvy guy. He can run. He can escape. He's quick twitch with his throwing motion. He's pretty accurate down the field with the football. He can create. He can do all those kind of things. So we're familiar with all that. But, it's a new team each year, and there'll be guys that haven't faced that yet. Coach Summers has done a good job all year of being able to adjust and counter back what teams are doing. I felt like we did that in North Texas. We were on our heels for the first 3 series, but he was able to counter back and get in a rhythm, And in Charlotte, they'll make their plays too. But if we can get in just the bulk of the game and be able to, get settled in defensively, I think that'll help us a lot. And they made so many explosive plays down the field last week. I mean, Rice played a lot of man coverage. They threw the ball over their head. They had some really good explosive runs. And so all those things were a combination that gave them momentum. Once they got up, Rice is not a come-from-back team. They want to manage the clock and control the game, and so everything played into Charlotte's hands last week.
Charlotte's offense, just talking about Reynolds, but some of those receivers, they've got quite a few guys that can go out there and make plays. How much of a challenge is that? What do you see that makes them, so good in that position group?
Every team's got good players, and they're no different. They got good skilled players, can go up and get the ball. 14's a good player. Running backs do a nice job, big physical O-line. They got players, and again, an example of last week, 56 points, that just doesn't happen. You better have some players who go score 56 points. So they found that formula. We got to be able to try to take it away from them, and say, okay, who are their best players and how do we minimize their ability to make plays? And, Coach Summers has done a good job of that to this point in this season. But the defense will have a tough challenge for sure, because, facing North Texas is very Charlotte similar, in some ways. And and they'll have their new plays that they run and all those kind of things. And, you know, offensively, we got to hit all cylinders, you know, to help our defense. You know, I'd like to see us get up and take control of the game and be able to help our defense out. And I think we're really close offensively. I really am. You know, to say we've only scored 13 points, you know, that was bad. But again, when I watched the film and 466 yards, there was a lot of really good football out there. We just got to clean up those things, and if we can clean them up and hit on all cylinders and play as a one whole unit, that'll get the win against them.
You know, I know it gets overshadowed because of some of the point totals and stuff, but Donut seemed like he put together a pretty solid game. I think 15 tackles, a couple for loss. I think he had double-digit tackles by halftime. What did you think of him, and you know, how important has he become to this offense this year now that he's been able to step into one of those major roles?
Yeah, Donut's done a fantastic job. We've utilized him well, allowing him to, whether we've isolated him on the tackle and the pass rush or we drop him in space, and so he's the free player, can run and tackle. Coach Summers done a good job there. He's become very, very important to us, you know. And but the other 10 players too that are playing with him are doing their job most of the time. That allows him to go make those plays. And some of our D linemen who got to do the dirty work and take on the double teams and hold the points and all that, you know, that's not a sexy job at times, but, you know, because they're doing their job, it allows Donut to do his job. And so that's what I've liked about our defense. They haven't been selfish. You know, they all understand what they need to do for it to be productive. He needs to have a good game again. He needs to make a lot of plays in this game too.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you. Appreciate it.